Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and I wanted to give a quick talk of Superman House of Brainiac special, House of Brainiac 2.5. Let me just say right off the bat that the House of Brainiac storyline running in Action Comics and Superman so far, it just started not too long ago. I think it's in the second stage, and this is supposed to be in the middle of the second part and the third part, which hasn't come out. I think that's the idea of calling it 2.5. Anyways, 1 and 2 have been pretty good. I think House of Brainiac has been a very good so far crossover between the Superman title and the Action Comics title. The artwork has been phenomenal by Rafa Sandoval, and Williamson. He's doing a good job overall. So today I buy this book, Superman House of Brainiac Special 2.5, and I am so fucking disappointed. It's just unbelievable what happens in this book. So right off the bat, traditionally comic books, the covers are a little bit misleading. It's a tradition. The covers don't always reflect what's going on inside. Sure, this cover, although it looks pretty good, except for Lois Lane's hand, which looks atrocious. Makes me wonder if maybe it was done by AI or something. Anyways, besides that, what you see in this cover, it reflects the House of Brainiac events pretty well, but that's about it. This book, except for flashbacks, right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, Superman is not in it, which is unbelievable to me. It is just a travesty that you would spend a lot of money, $6, on a book that says Superman at front, and when you read and you go through the story, Superman is not in it. You see flashbacks where he's in it, but Superman is not in this story at all, so but that's not the bad part. Although at the beginning and at the end, we see Brainiac reflecting on things that he has done, reflecting on the planet Sarnia, which is Lobo's planet, and Krypton, and the similarities between the two planets and the similarities between Lobo and Superman. And that's all fine and dandy. It has to do with the House of Brainiac storyline. But the biggest crime of this book, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to mince any words, man, the biggest crime of this book is that sandwich between the two House of Brainiac themes. Sandwich between it is a political agenda story that should not be in comic books at all. If a teenager, if some kid buys this book, he's gonna be confused, he's gonna be fucking bored, because like I said, in the middle of this comic book, there's a politically charged story that it's an atrocious story. It has nothing to do with the House of Brainiac. It's just, a bait and switch tactic that DC Comics and Marvel Comics have been doing for a long time. And like I said, in the book, there's no Superman, and this is the story I'm talking about. It's called Campaign Headquarters, and the writer, Mark Russell. I'm looking at you, man. And the artist, Steve Pugh, who I like. He's a very accomplished artist, and I've seen his work on other storylines before. This is just appalling. This story it's just about politics. It is the gist of it is, that Perry White got into politics. He's running for mayor and of Metropolis, and he's being helped by Bibble, who owns a bar, and he's helping with the campaign, as you can see. I don't recall ever Bibble having anything to do with Perry White in the Superman books. What they have in common is that they're both supporting characters in Superman books. But as far as them meeting each other ever, I don't recall that ever happening. So it makes no sense to me that Bibble, who owns a bar, he's a bartender, and he owns a very popular bar in Metropolis, why he would get involved in this campaign. But this is, Mark Russell. These people just grab comic book characters and they use these comic book characters to insert their politics, insert their real world views and their bullshit and their woke agendas and their ideologies, and just the messaging is heavy-handed in this book. It is incredible. So we have Perry White, who for some reason has an assistant, this woman here, that, from everything she says, has no faith in him. So supposedly she's supporting him in his campaign, and she puts him down at every turn. Everything she says about him, any reference she makes about Perry White, she's just telling the reader that Perry White is a piece of shit and he's really a bad candidate, which is, I don't understand what Mark Russell's message is, because he contradicts himself. He wants to paint Perry White as the side of good in I guess in Mark Russell's mind. He's the Democrat campaign runner, and but this Democrat, Perry White, is fucked because this woman, his campaign leader, I guess, it just tells him that he's no good at this, and that people view him as the loser, and that she doubts very much that she's gonna do well. On top of that, there's Lois Lane, who is written like a fucking bitch, and Lois Lane is also Lois Lane is supposed to be this girl that has known and worked for Perry White for a long time. Perry White gave her a break in the journalist industry that they work at, and that not only that, but they're friends. They've been through a lot of things. They both know Superman, they both know Clark Kent, and they're tight. Yet this fucking writer writes Lois Lane, and we have Lois Lane mocking Perry White. Look at this newspaper that she throws, and basically this reporter is asking Perry White, must feel unnatural to you, Mr. White, to be on this side of a press interview. It's unnatural for anyone, Perry White says. Do you think Lois Lane, your prodigy and successor, will be able to run Daily Planet without giving your campaign preferential treatment? So Lois Lane walks in and she says, judge for yourself. And she throws a newspaper, and this is the headline in the newspaper: political amateur joins race. Now, would a friend do that? A longtime friend do that to the man that, showed her the ropes, that, has given her work for throughout most of her life and stuff? So it just makes no sense. And then, you know, Garron Blake is the other, is Perry White's opponent, and he's, you know, he's just the what do you call it, an analogy of Donald Trump. And this is what this is all about. This sandwich story between the House of Brainiac event, it's just a bait and switch, and this Mark guy, DC Comics, the editor, whoever the fuck made the decision, just decided to insert this story that has nothing to do with Brainiac, has nothing to do with Superman, and it's just a bunch of fucking characters. One is, you know, what this Russell, I guess that's his view on the Republicans, on Trump supporters. The analogies are there, that the similarities are blatant. They are fucking annoying. And the messaging in this book, the messaging, look at this. Wake up, not woke. Fact, aliens have been abducting humans for medical experiments. And, you know, Perry White's opponent tag is aliens for deportation. And when they say aliens, since it's a comic book, they really mean, you know, alien beings that are walking around in Metropolis. I don't know why. And it's just appalling. It is the worst fucking thing I have read this year. I mean, just DC Comics keeps topping themselves, man. And it's the most unlikable fucking storyline, and he, you know, to grab this Superman, classic Superman characters and just insert like Perry White and Lois Lane and Superman and Metropolis, and just, you know, insert your real world views and the messaging, the heavy-handed messaging. Who is this for? Why should me as a reader, a Superman fan, why should I fucking care what this writer thinks about Democrats and Republicans and all those real life things that are, you know, politics that are going on right now? They don't belong in a Superman book. Comic books are fucking expensive, man. They cost a lot of money. And when I buy a Superman book, whenever a fan buys a Superman book, he wants to read about Superman saving the world, fighting the bad guys, using his powers, kicking ass, fighting, the drama and the fantasy, the sci-fi, the action, everything, the characterization, the drama, but not this bullshit. This, and look at this exchange. Let me read this exchange for you. Perry, we're on a first name basis now. Yep. Now listen. So, you know, Lois Lane is such a it's written like such a fucking bitch, disrespectful bitch. Whatever happens on that stage, we're going to cover it, all of it. So please don't be a train wreck up there. I guess what I'm saying is, Lois Lane, speak. Is that what we need you? I know you think I'm in over my head, and you're right. You see? Because every man has to be self-deprecating here. Every woman must be shown as better than the male character and must mirror him and humiliate him and make him look like a fucking idiot. I don't know how to run for office or read posters. Then why are you running for office if you don't know how to run for office, Perry White? It makes no fucking sense what these writers do and what these DC editors approve. Why is this story here? Anyways, nice pep talk. Chief, don't call me that. Oh, how clever. How the roles have switched. It is heavy-handed, man. Heavy-handed. Anyways, I'm not even gonna read through it because it'll just piss me off. But this is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. The blatant bait and switch, you know, of using a Superman book and using it as a platform to insert your real world views here, that the political bullshit, your ideologies, your stance. We get it. I get it. You don't like what Trump is doing, and you put the similarities there. And yeah, you might as well name this guy Donald Trump, but you don't do it. But you know, I'm an adult, so I fucking get it. I see the similarities. I see what you're trying to do. But what about that kid that grabs a comic book, that buys this comic book, that maybe the comic book, goes into the comic book store and grabs this, and this is his first Superman book. And then that new reader realizes that Superman's not really in the book. The character's not even there. He doesn't talk there. He's not fighting crime in it. It's just fucking stupid. And DC Comics, man, you keep dropping the ball. You take 2 steps forward and then you take 4 back. It's just appalling what you guys do. Anyways, the story is just, you know, it ruined it all for me. And then at the end, you know, Williamson just, you know, pushing upcoming storylines where Amanda Waller, for some reason, is the next huge bad guy in DC Comics. And she's like standing there and manipulating behind the scenes, and she and Brainiac have a face-to-face talk. And then, you know, for some reason, Brainiac is having conversations with Amanda Waller. Amanda Waller threatens him. Amanda Waller dares him. And he just lets her walk away. And it just, it's beyond me why Brainiac would have dealings with Amanda Waller, who is just a regular fucking woman that works for, as far as from Brainiac's point of view, for some stupid government, which Brainiac, you know, is above. He's above all those things. So it's just, you know, the second part of this storyline was pretty bad. So anyways, man, it's just very upsetting. This was a horrible book. I don't recommend it. From a scale of 1 to 10, I will give it a solid 6, because the art is not actually bad. The artwork is pretty good for the most part. But the writing, and not Williamson's writing, the writing of this Mark Russell guy, this fucking guy, I don't know who approved that story for him. There it is, Mark Russell. I don't know who approved that, what the agenda was, why it's in the middle of a Superman book. It doesn't serve the story of House of Braniac at all. Anyways, guys, that's my view. Sorry to be negative, but, you know, just horrible book. Let me know what you guys think. Give me likes, dislikes, and I would like to hear some comments. And let me know what you think if you read this. To me, it was just fucking horrible. Thank you, guys. And please subscribe to my channel if you're able to. Thank you. Peace.